All right, so welcome back to the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba, the Delta State capital, for the second and final half of the Nigerian National League Super 8 playoff final. It's between Warri Wolves and WIKKI Tourists of Bauchi, and it's the Wolves decked out in blue shirts who lead by 3 goals to 1. And all the work in this second half need to be done by WIKKI Tourists. They are down by 2 goals, and they have to do much of the running in this first half, or in this second half, if they are to pull their chestnuts basically out of the fire. Sulai Abila goes all the way back to the man who was booked in the first half, Abba Yusuf. They tried to make some early running. By the way, 2 changes at halftime for Warri Wolves. They brought in Tega Ebetomami, the number 30 shirt, and number 22 shirt, Stephen Koma. The players who will hope to add to the grief for WIKKI Tourists of Bauchi in this second half. A more sedate pace, nothing too frantic yet. That was what we thought in the first half, that the team started watching each other, but it quickly picked up, and before you knew it, the goal started flying in. So we're at one of the stadiums that has become iconic in Nigeria now. The Stephen Keshi Stadium has hosted the National Sports Festival. It has hosted several editions of the National Youth Games. It has hosted the Super Eagles of Nigeria on multiple occasions. It's also hosted the African Athletics Championships, has hosted the Nigeria Women's Football League playoffs, and of course, it's also hosting the Nigerian National League playoffs. The stadium pitch, particularly, might have witnessed too much by way of action, and it's cut up in places, but it does look um, like some renovation will be required in case, of course, that it is to host another big competition. One of the biggest events held here was the 2018 Nigerian FA Cup final. Yours truly was a commentary on that day as well. And that's one of the most iconic club games ever played in Nigerian football history. Kano Pillars leading Rangers International of Enugu 3-0 in the final with 13 minutes left. The Rangers International made it 3-3 and eventually won on penalties. So that should be some warning for Warri Wolves. A team has once come back from 3-0 down in this stadium, and they lead 3-1. The showdown is Mansour Nima. He thought about the shot there, and that's Joe. But well, was that a foul? That looked like a box, but I think he wasn't looking for the penalty. To be honest, neither were his teammates, and the referee. What he saw, of course, wasn't an infringement. Whoever gets the next goal in this game is going to be very important. If it is Warri Wolves, you will believe, of course, that this tie is done. If it is WIKKI Tourists, well, that means it's game on. 6 minutes already seen in the second half of this NNL Super 8 finals. Well, a blatant clearance. He didn't care where that ball went, and he's giving away a throw to WIKKI Tourists, quickly taken. They get another one almost immediately, and it's Bismarck Dua. I'm being told he's a Ghanaian. He is the man who will inbound this. Reminds me of the diminutive John Benson, who once played for Leventis United in the 80s. And there are several legendary Ghanaians there. Leotis Boateng, another one of them. And some goalkeepers like Edward Ansah. Well, it's for Wolves there. Attacking down the far right, down the far side of the pitch. Latif Yusuf, the man of the match so far. He's been thwarted, but he will get a draw. It's strange when you see foul throws at this level, but that's also what we saw there. Advantage is gone back to WIKKI tourists, but the only way they are going to keep control and get the ball away from their area is to ping it over the top. But the inevitable happened. It was headed back in to touch. They go back again. For the obtained time. The Warri Wolves head knocks it back out of the danger area. That's one of the substitutes, Tega. Ball played forward. Yusuf wants to go for it. Sees his man going for it and leaves it. But they lose possession and regain it immediately because the forward ball from WIKKI tourists not getting to a WIKKI player. The loose ball running all the way into the hands and custody of Utu Gotu. One of the players who was substituted by Warri Wolves at halftime is the veteran Efiare. What a competition it's been for him. Sent off against Kul Khalifat, restored to the starting lineup in the final, and he has a goal. If anyone was told about 7 or 8 years ago when Efiare left the Jimba that he will be playing in the MPFL again, well, many would argue that. But we're seeing players that these days having longer and longer careers globally. The other Messi, Luka Modric, Cristiano Ronaldo come to mind, and in the MPFL, Rabiu Ali in his mid-40s is your old OG. WIKKI tourists of Party knocking the ball now out to the far left. It is the captain, Yusuf Mohammed. Good cross. It is a header there, but he couldn't get his head to it. They keep the possession. Wonderson, should he have left high? Maybe. Ball chipped back again. Header knocks it back out. And it is a big shot at long back. He decides for the cross. Oh, it's into the hands of Joke Emerai. And the Warri Wolves with another opportunity. Can he shoot? He being forced, and he didn't get a good purchase on the ball. He didn't get good purchase on that ball, and he That was Ibunu. Well, there the Warri Wolves go again. Another opportunity. He's into the penalty box now. A shot got for, and he waited, and waited, and eventually got rid of Ham, who had all the time in the world to shoot and make it four. He kept on pressing and pressing the ball, and by the time he decided to shoot, there was a WIKKI Tourist defender to stop him. That has got the fans here going. Even though they lead 3-1, I think many of the fans of Warri Wolves are still a little edgy because they think if the second goal doesn't go to Wolves, then they could have problems. A long punt to the edge of the box now. It is Wanderson. He shot well the edge of the power. What is Joe Emeraye doing? Trying to waste time and nearly put himself in a spot of bother. Mahmoud Aliyu nearly forcing the Wolves goalkeeper into a howler. Some great skill from John Taiwo. They keep going forward. A clean shot. He was trying to sweep. He's got to be careful. He's on a yellow card. The danger man, Latif Yusuf, gets the ball now. What does he do? Goes down the right. And the cross is called for. And the cross comes. But the first header there is from WIKKI Tourist. And they find clean shot in a world of his own now. Look for the run of Wanderson. The Wanderson can't control. The pitch is badly cut off at this point. And the ball took a bounce on the top of grass and changed direction. And Wanderson could not get possession. John Taiwo losing possession. There they go again on the far side now. But Abila Sulai couldn't handle that. And this time, a better chance for a cross. He drives into the edge of the area. And it is a goal for WIKKI Tourist. A goal for WIKKI Tourist. It is 3-2. It is game on here at the Stephen Keshi Stadium. They are back in business. The men in red. Their fans on the far side are in uproar. Wanderson Babas, he has profited. A moment of carelessness at the back for Warri Wolves. And they have been stung. And as soon as they do that, they make a change. John Taiwo has been replaced for WIKKI Tourists, and he has been replaced by Lamido Ahmad. What a game we have on our hands now. This is a proper final. Are they going to get back level? That is the big question. Can Warri Wolves re-establish their supremacy? Another huge question. I did recall a game that ended 3-3 here after one team led 3-0. And well, it was 3-0 and now it's 3-2, and we've got still about a half hour left on the clock. The officials of the Delta State government are right here. They were jumping up and down in delight as their team ran riot in the first half. Well, not so much anymore. Without commentary. They are running commentary. So it is the Warri Wolves 3 and the WIKKI Tourists of Bauchi 2. Who would have believed that after the first 30 minutes? We're into the final 30, and all of a sudden, they have a spring in their step. WIKKI Tourists. Mansour playing the ball forward into the Warri Wolves half. Klingshak, he's been another supreme performer. That is Sulai. Sulai goes back to Abba Yusuf. Chip across the field. And this ball looks into the air. Well, he had to do the job nicely first time, and he did it. That's Joke Emeraye there, hanging on to this one. He wasn't at fault for the second goal. It was his defender. The ball bounced. The defender kicked her, and of course, Anderson knocked it in. So we've got a free kick to Warri Wolves. I can see Latif Yusuf standing over it. And Ibunu is there as well. But that's actually Pega, his second half substitute. But he walks away and they've left this one for Latif. Can he conjure up something brilliant again? He's not been as visible in this second half. And he goes for goal again. And this player is just fantastic. He got that free kick on target from 30 yards, and he took a save from Utum Godswill to keep the score at 3-2. Corner kick to Warri Wolves. Let's see what they do with this one. Coming from this near side. The referee again talking to both Mansour and Ibunu, who've been rather justly. Well, that's an opportunity, and that should have been 4, but it's not. WIKKI Tourists are claiming there's a handball against a Warri Wolves player there, but the referee is having none of that. It's another corner. That was a defensive header, actually. He nearly put it back in his own net. Another corner. Same side, near side for Wolves. They are very dangerous with their set pieces. And he's driven again to the edge of the 6-yard box. And chance there again. But this time around, Ibunu couldn't get his head on it. Well, they've lost their possession in a dangerous area now. I'm moving. Is that? Oh, that was a good idea. But lucky for Warri Wolves, they had that man, David Joseph, cleaning up at the back. If not, it would have been another opportunity. In fact, a one-on-one for Wonderson Barbers. Well, I have to tell you, there's jitters now all over the arena. Nobody had thought by now we'll be talking about the possible equalizer. And the people in the 6-yard box, but Joke falls on it again. Joke is taking all the time in the world to get there restarted. There's a new 8-second rule for goalkeepers, recently instituted by FIFA. but we don't know if that has taken hold here. The Wiki Tourist fans on the far side more than quadrupled in size as the game had progressed. They're jumping up now. If you just join us, you will think they were the side leading. They are down 3-2, but considering they were once 3-0 down, you can understand the, their feeling. Again, probing forward, but this time, so no one in particular, Innocent Irupe, captain for Warri Wolves, in a world of his own, knocks the ball back into the wicked half of the pitch where two players went went to head the ball at the same time, and contact was made, and both of them are on the floor, holding their heads. One of them is Latif Yusuf. He's really running around. I don't know, these head injuries are, of course, very dangerous. And the rule these days is once it happens, you have to stop the game and make sure everyone is all right. The wiki player, I'll let you know who it is. Players taking the opportunity to take a two of liquid. Latif is standing up. He's sitting rather, not standing. He's sitting on his butt, same as the Wolves. Same as the he is up down, and